All right, gonna attempt this repair on the TJ. Got to get that tensioner off. Got to find a bolt to put the new pulley, idler pulley, back on, and then have to get that pulley off. Never done any of these before, so gonna try to limp our way through it. Here's the bolt we need. Start by seeing if we can find one of these. Well, 20 minutes in and already ticked off. It is almost impossible to get to that bolt. The fan shroud's in the way, and of course it's wanting to strip already. Of course Mason gets it in about 90 seconds with the old vice grips. Just explain to me why, if you're gonna make something torch, you can't just add. This would be a nice 13mm head right there.
We can put an actual bolt on it now. You want to? Not really.
Do you have an actual bolt?
Do you have an actual bolt?
No.
Okay. I mean, I can run and go get one too.
No, that's not necessary.
Ease of further use.
No, let's just not.
Let's just not smoke a belt.
Let's just not over torque it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a really cheap plastic wheel. Not much to it.
I think the old belt, when it was slipping, got hot and melted the old one. I don't think there's anything ever wrong with the tensioner.
I don't think there was either. The pulley was the problem.
Yeah.
All right, so the old tensioner is off. You can see it got absolutely destroyed by the belt compared to the new one. But another problem, there's two little nipples on this that sit in the block.
In the Jeep's defense, we probably should have been hitting straight down on it. Probably should have tried to pull it.
Probably. This one broke off and it's still stuck inside the block. So now we get to try to get that out. After looking at this a little closer, it appears two bolts, that alternator would come off. That alternator is bolted to the block with another 2 or 3 bolts, and maybe that would have just taken all that off, would have made this job even easier. But now we have to, because that nub is broke off in that mount, so we'll take that off now. All right guys, here's a better shot. You can see that nub just completely kind of like seized off inside there. So took the alternator and the bracket off, which I probably should have just done in the first place. Would have made it way easier to get to this bolt, but it doesn't look like it would have been a tough bolt to get out, so I figured we'd just leave it. So now we can go put this in the vise and try to like drill or get this nub out somehow.
Grind it flat and drill it out.
All right, here we go. Threw on the vise, drilled a little hole, then was able to take a hammer and punch and just kind of punch that aluminum out of there. You can see it laying all over the bench. Cleaned up this one a little bit, and we're ready to throw this bracket back on. How's this side of the project going, buddy?
Going, you know, just going slow, trying not to screw anything up that doesn't need to be screwed up.
Looks complicated.
Just that shell in there. Put that in there. Top shell back on. This ring, go around it.
Some instructions here to read, buddy.
Buddy, we read all the instructions right here. There are a few cranks.
Cranking down on her, huh, buddy?
Lift up these two.
Those fan shrouds are just a pain.
The ones in the 4-cylinder, mine was broke off, but they're where the motor stops, like right here. There's a big plastic housing that goes from the radiator all the way to the front of the motor.
Nice.
Mine was broke off and it overheated. Let it sit too long. It's coming.
How about some sweet tea? All right, Mason has the old pulley off. Here's the new pulley. And I'm gonna go ahead and mount this tensioner up to this bracket with the bracket off. And I'm gonna go ahead and install some never sees on this bolt and these other bolts just to make future life a lot easier. So future Ryan, if you're watching this video, you can thank past Ryan. Oh my God. I don't know, freaking Tesla's Starlink Tesla, it's got quite the jump.
Oh yeah.
Little never ever sees.
Never ever sees. Watch, they'll rattle out now.
You know what? I'm almost more okay with that. What's the torque spec? About right here?
About, yeah. About.
Never sees. Just a work light around here, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, did it die? I hear baby Dax.
Do your horns on this Jeep work?
No,
That's okay, mine don't either.
I've been looking about how to get into it, but it seems like a big job.
Why?
Just taking the steering wheel off and messing with that clock spring and
You don't have to take the steering wheel off.
what?
You don't have to take the steering wheel off. It's a internal. You just take that inner airbag business out. It's clipped in by a spring.
Okay.
You reach up there with a screwdriver. You screw the spring up a little bit, and
You make it sound so easy. How can you get them fixed yours?
because mine is not the fact. Mine's not a switch. Mine's not broken because the switch. My switch and my wheel works fine. The actual horn is.
All right, guys, got the bracket back on now. Now I'm putting the alternator back on. Just mildly scared the crap out of myself when I touched my ratchet to the alternator wire. No big deal. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Belt tensioner's on. Alternator's on. Let's have a look at this pulley. All right, guys, we picked up a bolt from the hardware store. Put some never sees on it. Luckily, even though the old bolt got destroyed, it seems the threads in the block are okay. They feel pretty good. I've ran some never sees in first just to make sure. Mason did not get a good flanged bolt. He got this crappy
Well,
regular bolt.
coming to that statement, if you were paying attention when you opened the door.
Never sees on my GoPro.
God.
All right, guys, where the other bolt was just getting destroyed, it actually created some threads in this spacer, and this new bolt won't pass through it. So I'm gonna have to go clean this up with a drill bit so that this bolt will go through.
Yeah. What'd you do to that?
Nothing, but that's not a lot of thread.
No, it
I'm
ain't.
kind of surprised. Are you sure you got the right length bolt?
Hey, you wanna know something funny?
You bought the bolt the length after you cut it?
Yeah. God's sake. Tried to tell you.
Oh my God. So Mason had one-upped me earlier because I stripped out a bolt and he managed to get it out in 90 seconds for the second time. But then, now we're even, because you see how I don't have many threads here? It's because Mason cut the old bolt out of this pulley and then went and matched up the length of the new bolt with the bolt he cut, not the original length before he cut it. So we're short just a few threads. Mason knows what it's like to be short just a little bit right there. So we're gonna have to make another trip to the hardware store. All right, guys, well, finally, as the sun is about to set and we made an extra trip to Home Depot in which we took a detour on the Dual Sports. We have the pulley on after we had to cut a bolt to a specific length. If you're wondering, that pulley bolt needs to be 2.75 inches.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to put the new belt on and go bury this thing in a mud hole.